Hi, this is Tina from Inner Delight, and welcome to another Joyful Connections episode. It is such a joy to be recording here today. I'm actually in France, in Rennes-le-Château, and maybe in the background you can see the Magdalen Tower. And I'm connecting today live with our beautiful Tuaca, and she's actually calling in from Amsterdam, so you can see the water in the background. Hi, Tuaca.
Hi there, Tina.
Hi. Gosh, I am so looking forward to hearing you share, what brought you to Amsterdam and what is it that makes your heart sing?
Oh, wow. I would say the movements that bring me anywhere are really guidance and love. And Amsterdam specifically, I've traveled in so many places around the world. And I grew up in San Francisco, California. And with all the places I'd been to, San Francisco remained my favorite city until I came to Amsterdam. So after 39 years, I have a new favorite.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
That's quite a statement. I'm not a fickle woman. But it's there's qualities here I really appreciate that, in fact, remind me of San Francisco. Mm-hmm. But the culture here has some qualities that I've actually longed for growing up in the United States in terms of what I see, how I see people taking care of themselves here, being able to rest, have a day off, stores closing early for people to spend time in reflection, in play with their families. So there's just some qualities that really aren't prevalent. They're idealistic in San Francisco, but they're not really lived or prevalent there. So I'm being enriched personally as well here. Being a second generation American, I also have really strong close European roots. My grandmother was raised not too far from here, so. It's a homecoming in a way.
How beautiful. I just love your website, lovethemessenger.com. There's so much information on there, and you share your story on there, which I think is beautiful. And talking about the alignment, how is that for, coming into alignment with your heart, with whatever feels right for you, and how you can find that differs in different places, right? That different places align with you as well. Does that connect in any way whatsoever?
For me, in a personal way, each place I've lived in or been to, it's just different experiences for my own growth, and with each of those experiences, they've benefited how I'm able to serve others. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely been an influence. Mm. So everything is experience. Whether it's a relationship with a person, an ideology, or a geographical location, all of its experience to draw from and assist with discernment and making choices and moving forward with what is essential. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, what do I need to get here? What do I need to get to move forward, or to let go of something? Mm-hmm. And so there's always the opportunity for transformation.
Yeah. So, what is it that brought you to Amsterdam? Let's hear the story.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned before, guidance and love. I did have, precognitive visions in childhood about living in Europe, and when I announced to my people California that I was moving to Europe, there was a bit of a stir. Some people in my life are used to that, me saying I'm going to do this now, because it's like the moment I get that download or the guidance, it's like everything else moves into place to make that happen. I'm committed in that moment. So it may have taken 10 or 20 years for some of the people intimate in my life to get used to that, but they know that that's going to happen. They've learned to either appreciate or anticipate those movements where I just say, it's time for me to go. I gotta go. It's time. One of the responses I got was, what? You know, and this is from people, you know, that love me and want me close. Mm-hmm. And I just said in a gentle way, remember, you know, when I was a teenager, I said my first time going to Europe, it wouldn't be to visit, it would be because I was moving there. Yeah. And then I watched the memory wheels spin, and this landing and this recognition of, oh yes, they got it. And I said, well, this is the moment that I told you about, you know, 16 some odd years ago. So it's time for me to go. And my love is everywhere. So I'm not leaving you, but this movement has to take place.
Isn't that interesting? Because that's really about honoring what you're saying, that your love is everywhere. Because don't you find that oftentimes people, when they love you, they want to keep you in the place where you are, feeling that if you're gone, that the love is gone or you're gone in some way?
I've had those experiences in my life, Tina, until I really got to understand the dynamics of leveraging and what those people were really holding on to, or what they were trying to confine or take control of. Mm-hmm. And when I was younger, I was caught up in that dynamic, you know, because I was so kind of resolved into being in service, to doing what's right, to making sure that the other person was taken care of, and until I lost my own footing a few times. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right, you know. And then I'm kind of left cleaning up. There's something going on here. How did I learn that dynamic? And then in the dynamic of leveraging, it's you're one or the other. You're one or the other. It's like, wait a minute here. I'm not going to fall for that anymore. So that became this, you know, moment of fully integrating what I knew to be true, for them to be lived in my own actions, in my own decisions. And when I made that commitment, all of those relationships completely evaporated. Mm-hmm. They were gone. I mean, my entire garden was weeded. And what I had remaining were a few morning glories and a few roses, and there were they were precious and robust and long-standing. They're genuine.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I love my garden, Tina.
Oh, it's so cool. It's such a joy. You know, I just love how we're able to connect with one another, you know, because of this technology, wherever we are in the world, and to really share that message of really honoring the call of your heart, and knowing that when you do, that you're supported along the way, and the joy that radiates. I mean, you're glowing, girl.
It's true. And you know, I'd make these movements in childhood, and for sure I got reactions, some more pleasant, some harsh or criticizing, and my guides would embrace me and say, keep doing your work, keep moving forward. You know, one day people will begin to understand. And you know, that nursed my tears. I mean, I had some pretty challenging experience with that, and usually it was a reaction that was coming from fear, essentially. Either people weren't making the movements that they really wanted to, or they were touched in some way, they went into reaction, and I was there, you know, making these movements and breaking from that constraint of leveraging, or breaking from that manipulation, and breaking out of what didn't feel true, but it was kind of that matrix I may have been in that conversation, you know, if you will. And so I held on. I asked my guys, well, you know, when will I be able to have a conversation with somebody really about, you know, these other streams? They're like, oh, you know, in 20 years, years, you know, but keep going. So perseverance. Yeah, man.
And that day is here. So many people are waking up, and it's such a joy to be able to share with others without them,
Yeah.
and looking at you like deer in headlight syndrome,
You know, but it's still in those moments in childhood, people would still come either following their own nose or the recommendation of another adult, and they would come for guidance, or they would come for sessions, or they'd say, "Hey, I don't feel well, and so said to come see you, kid."
Wow.
We would still have these meetings, still have these connections. So I had all of these experiences to learn from and draw from. And, even years ago, if people wouldn't like admit it publicly, they would kind of like mock in public with their friends. They would break away from the group and come and confide in me.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I can come talk to you about aliens, or I can come talk to you about this, or I can come talk to you about this. And so they would move into, confession.
Yeah. Of a new kind.
which I actually call, authentic meetings. It's like, let's be real about this. They would have that meeting where they could be reflected or seen, and then they would go back out and into their own matrix, and then they would have to make decisions for themselves beyond that. Okay, so fast forwarding, some years later, in the oneness of one time, people were coming for sessions, and they would come for all sorts of whatever their initial intention was, either to connect with someone who was deceased, to experience healing in their own physical, mental, spiritual, light bodies, soul connection, insight to some dynamics in their own life, transformation, or assistance or a nudge to move forward, whether it was a hug or, kind of like a bit of a shove, like, come on.
Yeah.
to make that change from authentic movement, not idea. So I want to be very clear about this. From authentic movement, from authentic transformation. And years of these sessions and everything that I learned about energy, about healing through those sessions, I thought, wouldn't it be fantastic for people to really clear and tune into their own information.
And that's how the alignment came into being?
Yes, ma'am.
Woohoo! So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So that coming into being, it's a multidimensional healing event. And with that, multidimensional streams of consciousness and multidimensional streams of this coming into being. So in my teenage years, I got a message from my guides that I would develop an event. I also had messages coming through other humans, through their guides, coming up to me and saying, "Hey, I feel like you're gonna, develop your own work here. I don't know where this is coming from. I've never told anybody this before. Please don't think I'm crazy for telling you this, but I feel like I want to tell you this." And I'm like, I absolutely understand it. Thank you. And it was encouraging and validating. And it was also a moment for me to acknowledge what's true and completely surrender as to the how.
That's a big one, huh?
And so the how, you ready for this, Tina?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. It is just going to happen. And that it's just going to happen came into alignment on purpose here with that notion. Wouldn't it be cool for people to tune into their own information? And that's when lightning and thunder intertwined and struck everything in my world. In the best way possible. And I sat there just downloading and integrating all this information and all the support and all the other beings that are involved in the alignment. So the conductor of this event, it's akin to a symphony in a way, that all the musicians that are a part of the symphony, all their healing, all their information, all of their insight, the instruments they play, every note, every chord, every progression, every rhythmic tone, everything has relationship and beneficial influence in integrity of the soul intelligence to assist the individuals that are there.
Right. So when someone, well, you teach this process. I know you're going to Spain soon to teach, right?
Yes.
Yay!
Granada.
Oh.
I've been there, but everybody says it's a magical, beautiful, quote unquote spiritual place. Yeah, that's next month.
Awesome. So you're going to be teaching over there, and then you also offer people individual sessions with you to have this experience with the alignment, or is it mostly through classes?
The alignment is a group healing event, and it's an intimate group. So we do have nice time together, and there's a process in that, so people they have their experience and also learn to discern the different energies that are with them and grow with that. So it's empowering people to develop in their own intelligence, as well as have whatever experience is appropriate for them to have that's in integrity with their soul intelligence.
Beautiful.
So if it's visit, healing, transformation, and we've gone through Europe. We just had a great tour in the U.S., a 3-month tour. So people come for the alignment. They can also come for private sessions. Some people do both. So it's
exciting.
Following their movements and their guidance. All in divine time.
Wow, wonderful. And so the event in Spain, when is that on again? October 14th through the 20th, grabbing my virtual calendar. Okay.
It's something like that, and it's totally sold out.
Oh, bummer. Everyone watching, well, we're going to have to just log in from wherever you are and kind of get a preview of it. And maybe then, looking for a bigger venue then, huh? Or more.
Yeah, it's an intimate venue, and we have some events coming up in 2013 and the tail end of 2012.
Wonderful.
So consciousness is always growing. It's my purpose to continue growing with consciousness, growing me to assist others, and so they can tune into their own. I mean, years ago, I got a message, I got a download from my guides and others in the vast collective of benevolent consciousness about humans, how we make it so hard for ourselves, and that it doesn't have to be so hard.
Well, that will be a great topic for our next interview. So let's wrap it up here.
You got that right.
This is so awesome. So people will be able to find information about you, about any of the upcoming events anywhere, and book a private session with you as well at lovethemessenger.com. And
correct.
Is there anything you would like to share as a closing word for our Joyful Connections time here today?
To take stock in your own feelings, to think critically so you can explore what those are, not to jump into a story or ideology about something, but really learn to discern, thoughts from feelings, discern guidance from fear, to really begin to develop your own intelligence, your intuitive intelligence, critical thinking, and to know the value to know and appreciate the value of information, and to know and appreciate the value of health.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
That's it. And on that note, thanks to Tuaca for connecting with us here today, and I look forward to our next interview. And until then, many joyful blessings. Thank you for everyone watching. Take a look. Yeah, yeah. Oops, we had a bit of a muddle there. Well, for people
Come
watching,
back to Holland, Tina.
yes. We'll do a live one in Holland when I'm back there. That'll be really good. And until
Awesome.
then, people can check out lovethemessenger.com and connect with you, read more about you, and experience the beautiful light that you share. Thanks, Tuaca.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina.